Now, unless you've been living in a cave for the past 6 months, you will know that the mighty Bauma 2022 exhibition is now just 4 and a bit days away. I know some of you will be watching that exhibition from afar, and I also know that some people like me have already started to pack their bags ahead of their triennial pilgrimage to Munich in Germany. Either way, if you're watching this, the chances are that you love demolition and construction equipment, which is just as well because we have an absolute ton of that for you tonight. Tonight's show has been made possible by the fine folks at X-Watch Safety Solutions and the equally fine folks at Digger Guard as well. You'll be hearing from both of those later in the show, and I'll post a link to both of them in the chat as well. Please do try to show them some love. The show wouldn't be possible without them. Now, while we're waiting for a few more stragglers to arrive, if you watch the Breakfast Show with any regularity, you'll know that I've been in training for Bauma for quite some time now. In fact, I've just got back, literally just got back from my latest training run as well. And I've been doing it all partly because Bauma is absolutely huge, but also because I'd like to see the show like this. Okay, I probably won't be quite that agile, but a man can dream. I've had a question in. Gary Muirhead has said, what manufacturer do you think will have the most amazing and outstanding concept machine on display? It's a good question. If I were to put my money on the table now, I would make it a toss-up between Liebherr and Komatsu, or Hyundai, or Doosan, maybe Bobcat. Hitachi, you get the idea. There's going to be a lot of good stuff there. I'm going to get this show started. So let's start as we mean to go on with this. Right, we're not doing things in alphabetical order, but it just so happens that first up on tonight's show, we're starting with a B, and we're starting with Bobcat. We'll be back to the action in just a second, but first, for a quick word from one of our show sponsors. The X-Watch suite of safety solutions has attracted major OEM dealers and some of the largest names in the UK plant hire industry, who now specify X-Watch systems as standard when customers specify height and slew limitations. Join the safety revolution. Just visit xwatch.co.uk. Right, let's keep the show on the road. Let's see what Wacker Neuson has up its sleeve for Bauma. Right, before we hear from the second of tonight's show sponsors, let's take a very quick look around the Yanmar stand. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the stand looks the same in real life. I hope so, because I've got my eye on that bench for a nice little sit down in the sunshine. Hopefully. Things will be taking a technological turn in just a moment, but first, let's stop by compaction specialist Dynapack. I really should know more about compaction. Truth be told, I should know more about cranes too, but why bother when you've got somebody like Tristan Mays in the audience who can talk to us about stuff like this. Yeah, if you'd like to know anything more about cranes, Tristan Mays is your man, and cranehub.net is the place to go. Peter Ferguson just commented, where have all the British manufacturers gone? Is it buy or buy British? I'm fairly sure that Rockback are going to be there. Obviously, they are manufactured up in Bonnie, Scotland, and literally just checked, and Thwaites are going to be there too. So there are a couple of companies there that are flying the British flag. Not as many as I would like. I said we were going to talk technology. Now's the perfect time. And where better to start than with Liebherr? The company looms over Bauma like a colossus. Only this time around, there'll be more to Liebherr's Bauma display than just massive machines.
The world is just at the beginning of a transformation that will permanently change the way we live. We are consuming more sustainably, and renewable energies are being massively expanded. Our mobility is changing. As an owner-managed company, we are committed to steadily reducing our CO2 footprint as part of our responsibility to the environment and our children. That's why we're working on renewable energy technologies and alternative drives and make them suitable for everyday use in our machines. In this commitment, we have developed various drive technologies for different applications and purposes. Electric and hydrogen power technologies are of great importance to us in order to sustainably reduce CO2 emissions. Hydrogen technology is also suitable for our large construction machines. At Liebherr, we focus on the entire chain of production, from the technology for creating wind energy to hydrogen propulsion. Using tank-to-wheel estimates, we can already save 100% of CO2 emissions using green hydrogen. Using cradle-to-grave calculations, we can still reduce CO2 emissions by 70% with the use of green hydrogen. We have already installed this drive technology in our R9H2 crawler excavator. A large 350 bar H2 tank makes it suitable for everyday use. The hydrogen combustion engine and its injection system are being developed by Liebherr for use in construction machinery. With this technology, no climate-damaging CO2 is produced in the combustion of the hydrogen-oxygen mixture. The hydrogen combustion engine is particularly suitable for harsh operating conditions. This technology can withstand dust, shocks, and extreme temperatures. The customer does not feel any difference using this machine, as the engine delivers the same power and dynamics as a diesel engine. Also, the familiar handling such as fast and safe filling and safety in use make this development a guarantee of success for everyday use. For a future worth living. Liebherr.
Now, we all know that the construction industry dreams of an autonomous future, a future in which man hasn't been displaced but relocated to a safer location. Well, that future just took a step closer.
Setting off to the third dimension, the Ammann 3D Compactor eAPX 6895. We at Ammann questioned the status quo of vibratory plates, and we came up with some revolutionary answers. A compact and cubic design with a height of only 700 millimeters. A fully electric drive using latest lithium batteries. A maneuverability that no vibratory plate has ever achieved before. With 4 unbalanced shafts arranged in an X shape, it performs movements, curves, and direction changes that are unique for vibratory plates. Even tight curves or lateral movements are now possible for the first time. With its compact cubic design and low overall height of 700 millimeters, it can even work in confined spaces, operated by a remote control for best operator safety and efficiency. In addition, the electric drive gives 2 great benefits: no exhaust emissions and no hydraulics. No gears and no fluids for minimum maintenance. Sustainable, effective, and secure. The Ammann eAPX 6895. The third dimension in compaction.
Right, let's stick with the technology, shall we?
Today, many types of different machines are working together on construction sites. They are becoming more digital and virtually connected every day. However, the communication between construction machines and attachment tools is still manufacturer-specific and not compatible amongst each other. We believe that clients and all construction machine operators out there deserve much more. What if there was an open, machine overarching and manufacturer independent data standard for the communication between all construction machines and attachment tools? Say hello to the MIC 4.0 bus, a common data interface that connects construction machines and attachment tools, a true plug-and-work solution. Say hello to a growing network of construction machine and attachment manufacturers, as well as machine users. Our mission? A holistic and overarching transfer protocol for maximum customer benefit. Welcome to MIC 4.0 Bus. Welcome to the future.
Technology has the ability to make demolition and construction more efficient and more productive. It also has the ability to make it safer.
Did you know that almost 1/3 of all accidents on construction job sites are caused by driving with bad visibility? The haptic collision warning system from Bosch Rexroth helps machine operators to prevent such kind of incidents from happening. What is the innovation about? Existing surround sensing solutions are warning operators with visual alarms or sound signals. Well, visual alarms on the display, a blinking warning sign, easy to be overseen by the operator. Warning sound signals, on the other hand, are quite often perceived as annoying. The new solution from Bosch Rexroth is taking a different approach. It is combining the obstacle detection with haptic vibration feedback on the joystick grip. The operator receives the warning signal in an intuitive way. Humans or vehicles entering the danger zone are detected by the integrated ultrasonic sensors. The alert is triggered by the smart BODA software. The joystick grip starts to vibrate. The closer the object gets to the machine, the stronger the vibration. Vibration on the right joystick, object approaching from the right. Vibration on the left joystick, object approaching from the left. The operator knows exactly what's going on. Valuable reaction time is saved. Operators can focus on what they are there for, getting the job done.
Yeah, in addition to all the productivity, efficiency and safety benefits that technology affords, it can also offer environmental advantages too.
Construction is one of the most critical economic sectors for current climate change, accounting for over 39% of global CO2 emissions. Current construction contains over 28 billion tons of concrete. This is 42% of the global building material supply. Cement, which is the basic material of concrete, makes up 8% of global CO2 emissions. 28 billion tons of concrete represents a significant source of secondary building parts for reuse. An interdisciplinary team at the Chair of Individualized Production at RWTH Aachen University is developing new methods for material harvesting by increasing the levels of automation in the deconstruction process. The Roboton research project bridges this technological gap by transforming an existing manual demolition machine into an automated deconstruction robot. The hardware of the existing Brock deconstruction machine is extended by attaching motion sensors for each axis. The deconstruction robot is supported by a second mobile robot for environment detection and component recognition. A digital twin is connected to the robot control through a newly developed user interface. The Roboton project researches into precise movements of the automated Brock joints in Hilti saw. The movements are virtually pre-planned, then adapted to construction site requirements. Concrete is a new source of secondary building material. The aim is to increase the lifetime of existing concrete construction. The Roboton research project enables automated deconstruction and the creation of new building processes for modular reuse of harvested concrete building parts. The future goals of the Roboton research project: increase the controlled deconstruction by 40%, increase worker safety through automation, reuse 70% of existing concrete building construction for the extraction of secondary building parts, reduce global cement-based CO2 emissions by 1%.
Okay, we're about to turn our attention to the field of attachments, but before we do so, here's one last message about technology. The X-Watch suite of safety solutions has attracted major OEM dealers and some of the largest names in the UK plant hire industry, who now specify X-Watch systems as standard when customers specify height and slew limitations. Join the safety revolution. Just visit xwatch.co.uk. Right, before we move on to the attachments, quick browse through the chat, particularly as we've just had the comment of the night from our friend Gary Muirhead. The first stand for me to see is Steel Wrist. We're going to see them. We're actually doing some work with Steel. I'm saying we. It's not me. It's my son, Fred, is doing some work with Steel Wrist while we're there. And the first machine is the vending machine, a man after my own heart. We have a newcomer in our midst. I'm going to take a stab at the pronunciation, and apologies if I get this wrong. Rui Yuka Fernandez, who obviously is a friend of our friend Dan Cullen. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight, Rui. There is normally some confetti to play on this, but I'm in a different system tonight, so I can't do that this evening, and I do apologise. We come back to one of the breakfast shows in the morning, and I'll be sure to play that for you. Questions. Who supplies hydrogen in the UK? What's the risks in using it? How do you store it? Is there training required to use it? So many questions still to be unanswered. Yeah, and unfortunately, we've got exactly the same set of questions, I think, when it comes to electric and when it comes to biofuels and all that goes with it. As I said on the show, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, maybe the day before. We have environmental demands here, and we have our current status here. nobody seems to have thought about the bit in the middle, and that's the worry, I think. Let's have a look. Tristan May's clearly enjoyed the crane, as he rightly should. He is Mr. Crane around these parts. I think I've already answered that. Where have all the British manufacturers gone? As I say, we've got Rockback are going to be there, present and correct, manufactured up in Bonnie, Scotland, and Thwaites, who are manufactured. Just trying to remember what county they're in. I know they're roughly Leamington Spa. That's Warwickshire, isn't it? Of course it is. Jim Turner says Yanmar has the best music so far. See, I'm glad you said that, because with most of the video clips that we're playing tonight, we're using the music that was added by the manufacturer. In the case of Yanmar, I added that. I can't say it's mine. I borrowed it, but it was my choice. So thank you very much indeed for that. Rui Yuka Fernandez again. See you there. I hope to see you there as well. Nick Drew is here as well. Evening, Nick. Good of you to join us. Normally I always head for Liebherr first. Might be a bit different this time around. For various reasons, Liebherr is going to be my first port of call. And then after that, lap of the gods, I would say. My question of the evening is, what stand or what manufacturer, or what machine rather, would you visit first if you were going to Bauma? Lots of different answers. Ken Hatcher would be choosing Cat. I think we've already said that somebody, was it Gary, wanted to go straight to, let's have a look. Yeah, Gary said the first place he would go to would be Steel Wrist. James Doble has said first down for me would be Breakfast, followed by Cat. Absolutely brilliant. Ken Hatcher says, you won't see me, I'm not going. And unfortunately, I do recognise the fact that a lot of people won't make it, which is partly the reason for doing this, but also one of the reasons that we're doing the after show as well. So just to let you know, when we first started planning our trip to Bauma, we had in mind somewhere in the region of about 50 different videos that we were planning to produce. I think at last count, I think we've topped the 100 mark. It's just grown exponentially. So keep watching the Breakfast Show, because I think we're probably going to have Bauma coverage between now and the new year, and probably beyond as well. Dan Cullen said he would be looking to go to Liebherr or to Wacker Neussen. Don't blame me for that. James Dover, when I get my new kidney, Bauma is on my bucket list. James, assuming I'm still working by the time you get your new kidney, give me a call. We'll do it together. I'll happily escort you around should that ever happen. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look. We've already addressed this, I think, but what manufacturer do you think will have the most amazing and outstanding concept machine on display? As I say, we already know that there are a few people talking about all things hydrogen. Both Hyundai and Liebherr have hinted that hydrogen will be part of their display, currently in concept form, so I would imagine they will be in the running. We've got some, let me think. ALSA, we'll be featuring ALSA tomorrow, the dumper manufacturer, who have got an all-electric machine. Hydrema have got an all-electric ADT that they're planning to display as well. So there's going to be a lot of choice, and I think a part of it, I mean, I'm looking mainly at earth-moving equipment here, but again, I'll throw over to the wisdom of Tristan Mays. There may be something absolutely revolutionary in the field of cranes that has completely passed me by. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen, Liebherr or Wacker Neussen be mine, as they have great initiatives. Yes, they really do. I'm methodical at the show. I have to do the aisles and the areas, work my way through. That would be my recommendation. Anyone that is actually going to Bauma is planning. Thankfully, Peter Haddock reminded me today that the Bauma organisers have actually put together an app, and I've already started to plan my trip. I mean, I'm doing Sunday and part of Monday with Liebherr. I'm doing, I think I've got Komatsu in Monday afternoon, possibly Kabelco, I can't actually remember. And the whole of Tuesday is spent indoors filming with a variety of attachment manufacturers, and we'll come to that in just a second. But that includes Simex, Italmec, Rotar, Steel Wrist. I feel like I'm missing one. No, can't remember who it was, but we've got a whole bunch of that to do. I've got a bit of work to do with Hyundai on the Thursday. I'm with XCMG on the Wednesday. So, yes. Yes, I did say that apps are no good today. Funnily enough, obviously the app has been renewed for Bauma. There was a Bauma 2019 app, which was all right, a bit clunky, and it was all right. It was passable. They've renewed it. They've renewed it completely, and Bauma the Bauma 22 app looks very, very good indeed. Now let's get back to wherever the hell we were before I started going off at a tangent. Attachments are such an integral part of the industry these days that we've actually given them their own introduction. So while I'm lining up the attachment content, let me play that intro and stand by. Right, we've saved the heavy equipment to the very end of the show, and that will be coming up very, very soon indeed. But first, here is what attachment specialist Rotar has in store for Bauma visitors next week. I do have to pick up on this comment from Gary Muirhead. You'll be needing another holiday when you get back. My wife yesterday, after my 16-hour to and fro from Edinburgh, yesterday, my wife referred to Bauma as, when you're on holiday. Holiday. 20, 30, sometimes 40,000 steps a day, and she thinks that's a holiday. I should probably take her just to see how she gets on, but she'd hate every last minute of it. Now, let's see, who have we got up next? We've got another attachments maker, no great surprise because we're in the attachment section. This time it is Italian hydraulic breaker and attachment maker Promove. Where are we? Yeah, our final attachment focus. I'm sorry, just so you know, when I do my breakfast show in the morning, I've got a bunch of stuff down the side of the screen here. And normally, under normal circumstances, there's about 15 items. There's something like 80 tonight. That's how complicated these shows are getting. Our final attachment focus, we're going to be staying in Italy. Only this time, we're going to see Simex.
Welcome to Simex, the Italian manufacturer of hydraulic attachments, based in San Giovanni in Persiceto, in the production district of Emilia, Italy. The company's production plant covers a total area of 48,000 square meters, of which 18,000 square meters of indoor space. capable of manufacturing up to 500 units per month during peak demand periods. In this state-of-the-art production department, the most technologically advanced screening buckets for excavators are built, Simex VSE. Available in 4 different models for excavators from 8 to 45 tons, Simex VSE is specifically designed to separate different sized materials directly on the job site. Let's have a look at its characteristics. First of all, the exclusive Simex patent allows the rapid adjustment of the output size of the screened material in only seconds via a control in the operator cabin. This revolutionary system, the first of its kind, allows the shafts to be instantly distanced and closened with a maximum shaft travel of 40 millimeters. It guarantees speed of execution, versatility, being able to work on different materials, and considerable time saving. The second characteristic that makes these buckets unique is the new screening tool system. It's called FIT and has 3 important features. The system allows multiple configurations depending on the materials to be screened. We provide 3 different configurations, but many other configurations are possible. The screening elements that make up the shafts are composed of discs and blades of different diameters, which perfectly match each other, producing a high swirl of the material to be screened, even in the presence of wet material. Each element is composed of 5 independent parts, designed to easily interlock with each other with no weldings. They are easily replaceable without difficult operations or the needs of shafts unstrapping. This means 75% less maintenance cost, as it is possible to change 1 single disc or blade. Very easy loading thanks to the wide mouth shaped as a standard bucket, and incredibly durable thanks to a solid structure improved by Hardox. SAE bucket capacity from 0.4 to 1.8 cubic meters. Now, let's find out all the system's advantages. The adjustable output size, controlled directly from the cabin, allows the operator to separate different sized materials with no downtime. On the other hand, traditional screening buckets need long and complicated technical operations to change the output size. For instance, by changing the screening tools or distancing the shafts. Thanks to the specific design of the screening system and the high swirl produced, even the wettest and muddiest material is easily screened without it sticking to the bucket elements, as often happens to traditional screening systems. FIT, the brand new available screening tools, give the operators a fully configurable screening system, effective in any condition with a wide range of materials and soils, with less costs of maintenance.
Good to see what the Simex are up to. I just want to say a very quick hello to Alexander Sturm, who is the business unit, demolition business unit head of Senebogen, who is just tuning in over on LinkedIn. Fantastic of you to join us. And yes, I'll answer your question later after the show is over and done with. But yes, you are guaranteed to see me next week. Now, let's press this button because we're about to get heavy. there's just 3 proper films left for you tonight. And as I've just said, it is time to get heavy. The machine I'm about to show you is likely to be among the absolute stars of Bauma 2022. Just take a look at this. Now, there's a thought from Jim Turner. Funnily enough, a good couple of years ago, myself and a mate of mine, John Woodward of C&D Consultancy, we did actually compile a Spotify playlist of demolition-related songs. So, Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses, If I Had a Hammer. I can't remember who made that. Yeah, maybe a CD one of these days. Let me see. I am actually scheduled to spend some time with Kobelco next week, so be sure to look out for more from them. I'm also going to be spending some time with the fine folks at XCMG. Now, I'm going to throw this up very, very quickly. The Kobelco stand will be busy with questions about the emissions scandal, ? I would imagine it will. Hearing rumours hearing rumours. Obviously, the stand is already in place, but I'm hearing rumours that some of the staff may not be. Don't know if there's any truth to that, but I've heard that just today, so it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. Let's have a look. It'd be nice if someone would bring out on rubber tracks with round rollers, not square ones. Can't remember what that one was relating to. XMG is showing off a lot of Eurocentric equipment there. They're getting closer and closer. Obviously, they are very active in their own native China. They've made it over to places like Australia as well, but I've seen them popping up in places like Germany and Turkey more recently. So they're coming. As they used to say, the Japanese are coming, or the English are coming. It's the Chinese are coming. Now let's have a look. Jim Turner's right. You've got to get a Demolition CD out or Spotify. I will dig that out. I'm sure it still exists. It's probably on my Spotify account. Not looked at it in years, but I will go and take a look and see if I can bring that to you, so you can listen to just how bizarre my brain was working that particular day. So we come to the final proper film of the night. Komatsu is planning to have a massive PC 4000 face shovel on its stand, and that is likely to draw a huge crowd. The big excavators always draw a huge crowd on both the Komatsu stand and on the Liebherr stand as well. But personally, I'm looking forward to seeing this even more.
Welcome to the machine familiarization video for the HD785-8 rigid frame haul truck. This video will review key features located throughout the machine. The goal is to familiarize you with the use, operation, and maintenance of the components and systems for safe and effective operation. Starting at the rear of the machine, if we look up we see two cameras. The top camera being used for the reverse rear view camera, and the bottom camera is utilized by the ComVision system. For easier maintenance, remote central grease fittings can be located on top of the differential housing. An addition of an inspection plate has been added to allow maintenance personnel a visual inspection of the differential ring gear. Moving to the left side of the truck, between the front and rear tires, are a few items to be mentioned. Here is where we find the transmission oil sight gauge and fill neck. You will also find the visual sight gauge and the fill neck for the hydraulic tank. A new feature on the HD785-8 is the ground level service center, which includes a quick fill adapter for the engine oil, transmission and brake cooling oil, brake control oil, and the steering and hoist hydraulic oil. Continuing forward to the engine bay, we can see that the HD785-8 now incorporates panels for complete enclosure of the engine. A latched panel has been added for easy access to the KCCV filters and the engine oil fill neck and dipstick. Under the engine access panel is another enclosure that houses one of the high-efficiency fuel filters and fuel pre-filter with water separator. Looking behind the fuel filter enclosure, another remote central grease fitting junction can be viewed. Looking to the top of the engine bay, we find the on-off toggle switch for the electric fuel priming pumps. Under the frame rail, there is an enclosure that houses the coolant quick fill adapter. Under the cab in front of the tire, notice the two cameras used by the ComVision system. Another enclosure we come across is the data collection and battery disconnect box. Inside this box, we see the data collection ports, the machine immobilization switch, which will lock out all hydraulic functions. Other switches in this box are the battery disconnect switch, the starter lockout switch, and a toggle switch to operate the engine bay service light. Lastly is the auxiliary engine starting connector. Outside of the data collection and battery disconnect box are two switches. The first is the ground level emergency shutdown switch, which will shut the machine down in case of an emergency. This next switch is the staircase light toggle switch, which will illuminate the staircase in low light conditions. Looking directly at the front of the truck, you can see the easy access boarding ladder, as well as multiple emergency egress points. The headlight cluster, which includes the fog light, low beam, high beam, turn signal, and clearance lamps, can also be seen from this view. There is also a ComVision camera mounted to the front of the boarding access. Two-wheel chock holders can also be found at the front of the machine. Moving into the right side engine bay is similar to the left side, with the engine completely closed off. The latched access panel on this side will lead to the engine oil filters. The other high-efficiency fuel filter and pre-filter are mounted in the same fashion as the left side, in an enclosure mounted to the frame. The brake circuit supply filter is also mounted to the frame, as well as the optional oil pan heater connection point. The front right corner also houses 2 ComVision cameras as well. When looking at the center section of the right-hand side of the truck, we mainly see the fuel tank with a Wiggins quick fill, as well as a standard fill neck and a visual sight gauge. Mounted behind the fuel tank, we will find a tool storage box that is sealed from the environment. In the front of the fuel tank is the brake tank with a visual sight gauge and fill neck, which are both under covers. Now that we have been around the truck on the ground level, let's head up onto the deck. Once on top of the deck, the first thing we encounter is the battery box. The battery box is where the machine batteries are held, along with several circuit breakers and relays. Just behind the battery box is the coolant reservoir with visual sight gauge. Moving to the center of the deck is a panel that can be lifted to gain access to the top of the engine where the twin KDPFs are mounted. To the rear and above the engine access panel is where the twin dual-element air filters are mounted with their vacuum restriction gauges. Last on the deck is the cab access. The cab can be entered from the left side for the operator and the right side for the passenger. We will discuss the cab in more detail in another video in this series. This concludes the machine familiarization video for the HD 785-8 rigid frame haul truck. For more information, please refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual or contact your local distributor. You may also visit us at www.komatsuamerica.com. Thank you for choosing Komatsu products.
Yeah, that one threw up a few questions. First off was Algres over in Luxembourg. If you like your diggers on film, go and check out Construction Channel Luxembourg over on YouTube. Well worth a visit. Subscribe while you're there. Tell him I sent you. Why not? Do machines that size still do manual greasing, even if with centralized greasing points? I'd have thought they would use an automatic greaser. I would be astounded if you can't specify that machine with automatic greasing. But one of the things that always strikes me is it doesn't seem to matter these days how much you are paying for a machine. I was talking to a demolition contractor recently who had ordered a high-reach excavator from one of the major manufacturers. I won't name them, but one of the major manufacturers. And by the time it had been fully kitted out, the machine was coming in at around about £1 million. And that £1 million machine didn't come with a camera system. You can put a camera system on an excavator for, reversing cameras and that kind of thing for a few £100. You'd have thought if you were spending £1 million, they'd have been inclined to throw a few £100 worth of remote of camera in for nothing. Apparently not. Let's have a look. Gary Muirhead has said no, add Blue Tank. That was an American film. Not sure they need it over there. Not entirely sure what the situation is there. If we have got anybody here from the States, maybe you'd like to share that with us. That rigid is some truck. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one up close. And Gary Muirhead has said, are you taking a spare empty suitcase for all of the freebies? Now, in years gone by, I've tended to decline freebies on a regular basis, partly because they're bloody unwieldy to carry. I usually walk around Bauma with a backpack on, and if somebody's given you a model, you've then got to haul that around for the rest of the day before you can offload it at the hotel that night. So, as I say, on occasions, I've generally said, thanks, that's awfully kind, but no, I'll pass if you don't mind. But this time around, I am planning to grab as many freebies as manufacturers are willing to give away, because at some point between now and Christmas, so in actual fact, probably between now and the end of November, very beginning of December, we're going to do another live show. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do it about, but we're going to do a live show and we're going to do a giveaway. And we'll probably do it as we've done before, so like a prize draw system. So we'll have lots of stuff up for grabs. And the main reason we're doing it, not because I particularly like the idea of collecting freebies, that's hardly the reason I'm going. Just figure it is tough out there. Times is hard. With Christmas coming up, you never know. There might just be a few gifts in there for your loved ones, children and stuff like that. Whether it's baseball caps or woolly hats or whatever it might be, and maybe a few models and that kind of thing. If you've got nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, grandchildren that are into things digger related, then we may be able to provide you with a bit of a nice cost effective, free of charge gift for them between now and Christmas. Jack Cullen says auto greaser is no good off operators. Don't use them. See every day they can't be bothered refilling them. Yeah, it's like the argument in this house. Funnily enough, it's like the argument over the dishwasher. Wife wanted a dishwasher for years. We got one, and now we fight about who's going to load the damn thing. We've gained nothing at all. That's going to be it for the main part of, well, pretty much the whole of the show, because we're almost at the hour mark. But before I hop over into the chat very quickly, I'm going to play you this. And that's it. The show is over, even though the show that this show is about is just about to begin. So while there's a little bit of an evening left to enjoy, even though West Ham are currently losing to Liverpool, as I expected they would, I'm going to play our outro. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you'll join me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for our regular breakfast show. And I sincerely hope to see at least some of you in Munich. I'm certainly going to see Nick Drew. I'm hoping to see Al Grierson. We must make that happen. I'm certainly spending some time with Tristan Mays as well. So looking forward to meeting up with those guys. Until then, thanks for watching. I'm going to play the outro. I'm going to quickly pop into the chat, and then I'm going to let you get on with your evening. So here's the outro.